theft. That's where I want the energy.
Wow, okay. Right,
Stealing,
cool.
theft.
All right, cool.
Or is it theft?
No, we can start there. That's a good place to start.
Yeah.
Corruption is worldwide. The country we're in right now, UK, is corrupt. America's, any country you want to look at. So in the book, he made an example, the Nigeria question. The question is this.
Is lying okay in these circumstances? And is that a big lie?
Look, man, lying's never okay.
Yeah.
Lying's never okay, but I think he did what he felt he needed to do at the time. One of the slopes, the ramps you run up here, there was a group, so on the ramps, you're at the top of the ramp. You don't know this, everyone's running, and like, if I get to the top of the ramp, I'm gonna help someone else get to the top of the ramp.
Oh, yes.
And then we'll help a few people, and then we'll go. So I'm at the top of the ramp, I see a group of guys at the top. I'm like, yeah. I run up, put my hand out, they all just looked at me, and I hit the thing and I came down, and I was fuming. Do you remember this?
Life has become too easy. We used to hunt and gather food, and now we just go to the supermarket to get food. So he believes that we miss those challenges as humans. Welcome to The Power of Pages, where we review books that ignite your mind,
elevate your life,
and drive your ambition. And I go by Ty.
I'm Mr FFLY.
And this episode, we are reviewing It Takes a Tribe by Will Dean. And I just wanted to start this episode by asking you specifically, where do you want to start?
Yeah, you know what, obviously off camera you told me you was going to ask that, and I've been thinking. And I think I'm going to put the question, do you want to start with something nice or something? Do you want what do you want the energy to be?
The energy. Theft. That's where I want the energy.
Wow, okay. Right,
Stealing,
cool.
theft.
All right, cool.
or is it theft?
No, we can start there. That's a good place to start.
Yeah.
You go for it. Go on.
So we read. I forgot his Scott Carney's book. What Doesn't Kill Us?
Yeah.
And in that book, he talks about Tough Guy, which is an event similar to Tough Mudder, which is what this book's about. The author of Tough Mudder, Will Dean, wrote this book, and it's about his experience setting up Tough Mudder, which is a challenge. We actually did it last year, September. We'll get into that. But part of it in the other book we read, they specifically said Will Dean stole the idea from
Billy Wilson.
And in this book, he says, I didn't steal the idea from Billy Wilson.
Yeah.
So who's in the right?
Yeah, do you believe him?
No.
Why? Why don't you believe him?
Because, what I believe is he didn't think he was stealing the idea. I think he thought, oh, that's a good idea, I'm going to do something similar. Yeah. Like, he copied him in his own way. He didn't copy him exactly. So he's like, I got the idea from Tough Guy. Yeah. I'm going to do something similar. Yeah. And he talks about other parts of his life where he was given the idea to start this. So I don't think he directly copied the exact Tough Guy, but I think he copied elements from it, which happens in business. And I don't frown upon him for that, because that's what businesses do, you know. Yeah. Coke copy Pepsi, Pepsi copy Coke, Nike copy Adidas.
So he did copying them?
Or he takes the ideas from them.
Okay.
So I don't think he directly copied the whole concept, but I think he took the ideas from it to help him create his one.
I see what you're saying, and I so just for kind of context. So obviously Tough Mudder, I'm pretty sure people know what Tough Mudder is now. We're going to go into it a lot deeper, but it's an obstacle course essentially. But there's also a tribe kind of based around it. There's a whole feeling and a whole movement. There's a movement, right? Yeah. Now Billy Wilson, he established Tough Guy in Wolverhampton in 1986. See, I think Tough Guy was in 2013. No, sorry, Tough Mudder was 2013. I think he started it.
Yeah, okay. I didn't write that down.
2013. Anyway, before he started off, Will Dean went and visited Billy Wilson. Yeah. This was part of his research. So he was already trying to set up this obstacle course. Whether he was aware of Tough Guy or not, he went and he found Tough Guy, went and spoke with Billy Wilson. He signed an NDA. Yeah. Saying, he signed the NDA. And after he's released, after Tough Mudder's doing so well, even the name, Tough Guy, Tough Mudder, tough.
Yeah.
I know he says how he came up with the name, but you know, that's a very big coincidence. Do you know what I mean? Allegedly or whatever, I don't want to get sued. But yeah, so I think he saw the idea, but I think he took it to another level.
Yeah.
And I think this is what I think, right? Billy Wilson had a great idea and he's done something. I think it still goes on or whatnot. It's amazing what he did as well. His story, go back and watch our review of What Doesn't Kill Us. But Will Dean is an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And he took it to just a whole nother level.
Yeah.
International.
Yeah.
International, because Tough Guy takes place once a year in where is it, in Glasgow or in Wolverhampton, sorry. Tough Mudder happens consistently and it's gone to different levels. So I think you're right. I think he was maybe inspired, but he saw something and took it to another level.
Yeah.
And like you said, that happens in business.
Yeah.
Is it right? Is it wrong? That's open to debate. I think the mistake he made, I think he made a few mistakes, as in Will Dean, is when he was promoting the first Tough Mudder, he used pictures from Tough Guy on his website, which he shouldn't have done, I don't think, because it's disingenuous. And even the fact that going and visiting him and maybe not even, we don't know, he wasn't there for the conversations, but how open was he with his reasoning for going there? But hey, it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? And I think they did a cash settlement anyway. Yeah. So Billy Wilson, hopefully he got what he's entitled to. And again, I don't think Billy Wilson wanted to scale in the way that Will Dean has scaled it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, okay. It's turned into a multi-million
it's a movement. It's a movement.
It's a massive movement. It's a movement. And how he says he got the idea for Tough Mudder. This is how Will Dean, the author, says he got the idea for Tough Mudder. He got the idea while doing a triathlon when he asked someone for help, but nobody helped, as it would have impacted their time. And he thought, this isn't fun. So basically, he was doing a triathlon. He needed someone to help him unbutton his top. I can't remember exactly
zip up.
It would have taken them 10 seconds, but he didn't. No one wanted to help him because it meant their time would have been 10 seconds slower. Mm-hmm. So he's like, let's do Tough. I'm going to create Tough Mudder, where it's a fitness, event, but everyone helps each other. Mm-hmm. Everyone has that camaraderie. Mm-hmm. There's no timing. We don't time how long it takes. Everyone's a part of a team and a community to go and do it. And we've both done Tough Mudder, and that's exactly the vibe that it is. Like, everyone wants to help each other. God.
Do you remember there was, my days, everyone but this one group, and I wish, anyway, do you remember what happened to me? Yeah. You don't remember? One of the slopes, the ramps you run up here, there was a group, so on the ramps, you're at the top of the ramp. You don't know this, everyone's running, and like, if I get to the top of the ramp, I'm gonna help someone else get to the top of the ramp.
Oh, yes.
And then we'll help a few people, and then we'll go. So I'm at the top of the ramp, I see a group of guys at the top. I'm like, I run up, put my hand out, they all just looked at me, and I hit the thing and I came down, and I was fuming. Do you remember this? And I was like, bruv, what are you doing? Like, and that's because like, I was like, up until that point, everyone been helping everyone.
To be fair, that was near the end.
I don't care.
No, but not so from their point of view, but like up until that point, we had that camaraderie, right?
Yes.
And so we thought that was the
So
ethos.
I had an expectation.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, you're right, look. So that was just like, so besides that group, they were pagans. All the other Tough Mudders were cool, but them man there, you're cancelled. Yeah. But yeah, no. But
do you have any pictures of that?
Of me flopping? If I did, they're deleted. They're deleted.
If I could get hold of them for the viewers, I'll put them in. If I could get hold of them.
Yeah, cool. But it's no, the whole vibe. It was a good day. It was a good day. I think with this, it's more like a festival sort of. Yeah. Because even like, I think we're going to talk more about our experience in this review as opposed to the book. We'll talk about the book, but I remember, we've done other things, we've done other fitness challenges before. I've done the half marathon, you've done the bike rides, we've done quite a few different things, right? And you train for it, and you prep for it, and you train, and you train. It's like, Tough Mudder, how do you train for it? Do you know what I mean? It's, and he mentioned it in this, there's certain challenges like the electrotherapy, or whatever they call it. Certain things like where you can't actually train to get shocked by an electric shock. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Or if you can, how do you do that? Like, you can't just do that. Like, with other things, you can go for a run and you can lift weights, you can do whatever you want to do.
Can I just pause you there?
Yeah, go on.
Can we just talk about your experience with the electric shock?
Okay, go for it. We're not doing this today, though, by the way. We're not doing this, my God. This is the last one, and we're not doing this. Yeah, go on.
Can
can
I put the video in?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, well, if I can find it anyway.
Yeah, I've got it.
I mean, I've got a video of me as well going through
Yeah.
it. So yeah, hopefully we'll put the videos in of both of us going through the electric shock at different times.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on run, man!
3, 2, 1, go! Run!
Oh, you're gonna...
The way you dropped. I have to find it for you. I have to find it for you.
I felt like a punch. I felt like a punch.
Yeah. Do you know what? Yeah. When I was going through, before I went through it, I thought, oh, it's just going to be like a little zap.
Yeah.
It's just, but it's like a proper shock.
Yeah.
Like a.
It dropped me to my knees.
Painful.
Yeah.
And your child would love to see you.
But anyway, that's part of our experience. We'll probably touch on a bit more. But the book, what he talks about in starting it as well is life has become too easy. Is part of why he did
ethos.
it.
Yeah.
The ethos. Life has become too easy. We used to hunt and gather food, and now we just go to the supermarket to get food. Like, so he believes that we miss those challenges as humans, and we need some form of challenges as part of us, because before, back in the days, those challenges were a part of our life. Now it's not challenging to go to the supermarket and buy food,
I understand.
It's like, so doing things like Tough Mudder gives us those challenges. And actually, I was going to come onto this a bit later, but I want to come onto it now. I went to a men's talking group yesterday. Shout out Managing Our Mental. It's a talking group for men to just get together and talk. It's a fairly new non-profit organisation. Anyway, we spoke about Tough Mudder doing it. And I guess I wanted to put out the question to the viewers and also to you. What impact do you think challenges have on supporting our mental health? Because again, I'm going to do like I did previously. Yeah, I'm asking you, and I'll give you time to ponder on it while I answer my own question again. Like I
last time you asked me a question, and you didn't let me answer.
I didn't let you answer.
Go on.
So make sure you answer this question. So for me, I think it has a massive positive impact on mental health. Having challenges that are achievable. Of course, through life and business and stuff, I have constant challenges, but having like a fitness challenge is like a goal to aim towards, something to keep me consistent training. And I think it has overall a net positive impact on mental health and health in general. So now I agree with you. Talking personally, yeah, definitely having a something to drive you. Do you know what I mean? And whether that is, but yeah, definitely. I think for me, obviously, I lend myself, or I kind of gravitate more to physical challenges, whether that is just exercise and fitness. Things like this are good because it's something to kind of, as well, it's like a celebration of all the hard work you've done. Yeah.
You know, when I did the big half marathon, I think that's one of the best things I've ever done in my life. Do you know what I'm saying? That was like, and obviously I was comparing experiences and I was like, wow, I put the big half above that. That was like
above Tough Mudder.
Yeah, 100%. But I enjoy Tough Mudder a lot. But it's kind of, so to answer your question, yes. But then as well, I think with me personally, it's like I've got no drive to do Tough Mudder again. Yeah. Because I feel like I've done it. Do you know what I mean? So I'd want to do something else. But
would you do a half marathon again then?
Again, no, I'd do a marathon. I would do a full marathon. Do you know what I mean?
Because it's the next level.
Yeah.
You haven't done it before.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I am. But I think definitely, man, I think we have to constantly challenge ourselves because you surprise yourself. And I think, again, it has a net positive. Yeah. You know, you see, and what I like about these sort of things is it's personal. It's you. You know, it's you versus you. Do you know what I mean? It's, you know, none of us are like international athletes. We're not trying to get the world best record or whatnot. We're just trying to do better. We're just trying to improve, trying to get. So yeah, man, I love stuff like that. And I think if everyone embraced it, I think everyone would be a lot happier. I swear down. I think like everyone would be a lot happier. You know, and that's just when I'm looking at, you know, there's a young person that I'm working with. When I say young, he's in his 20s. He's going to be leaving to go and join the Marines soon. And I've seen that just having that ambition, that drive, waking up, training, you know, progress, that gives you it just gives you something else. It gives you something else. So yeah, man, I think, like you said, I think you put it well when you said it's a net positive. Yeah. And I think if everyone embraced that, I think everyone would be a lot happier.
Yeah. No, that's deep, man. And I think, you know, aside from the book, you know, big up Will Dean and whoever else creates challenges like these, because overall they have a net positive. And I think I'll just go to, I think, a quote right at the end of the book that he said, "We are not curing cancer, but I'd like to think we're making a positive difference to the world."
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it is. I think that's even with me and my business. I'm not curing cancer, but I'd like to think I'm making a positive difference to the world.
It's interesting. It's interesting you say that, because I was thinking about, this book made me think about you quite a lot. Because I was like, obviously I run a charity, so I'm in the charity sector. And I'm like, I'm looking at him and I'm like, Will Dean, the whole situation. And I'm thinking like, is this just a business that is just being a business? And really what you really care about is the bottom line and profits and shareholders and all that kind of stuff, which is business. Or are you really trying to do what you say you're trying to do? Like the whole thing about the tribe and the community and the movement and all that stuff, the spirit of Tough Mudder, all that stuff, is that just a nice package that you're putting it in that people are happy to pay for because they get that, but really you don't care about that, it's just a business? And I was like, Then I thought about, wow, but you know what? I don't know Will Dean in it, so I don't know what he's like. But I was like, I know Tyler has his business, but Tyler actually cares. So it's not just a business, it's actually a care. And the why, and going back to previous books, like the why and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, okay, so just because it's a business and it's a limited company that has profits, it doesn't mean that the motivations aren't positive motivations that are good for people. And it doesn't have to be in the charity sector
Exactly.
to hit those things. And I was like, you know what? So that kind of maybe gave him more grace.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't know you, I'd be like, I'm quite cynical sometimes. I'm like, oh, these guys, it's just a good pitch, PR and all that kind of stuff. But I was like, you know what? If it's true for you, it can be true for him. I'm saying, again, I don't know.
Just because he's making money from it doesn't mean that money's his own motivation. Money will be part of his motivation for doing it, for sure, and it is exactly part of my motivation for my business. But actually, I like to inspire people, I like to help people, I like to support people, but I get paid doing it. So actually, that's fantastic. That's ideal for me. If I had the finances to do all of that without needing to get paid, then I'm pretty sure I'd still do that. But the fact I can do it and get paid is actually what I want to do. And if I could scale it, or when I scale it, that's even better. If I can have a nice life alongside of it,
Yeah, no, and like I said, I know that to be true. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, and knowing that, with that knowledge, that made me kind of believe him more so. Do you know what I mean? It made me kind of give him more grace for, I know, like you just said, I know what Tyler's like, I know what his mission is, I know what he's trying to achieve. I was like, there are, there's other people in the world like that, and Will Dean could be one of those people. So yeah, definitely. Yeah,
I mean, I want to mention about the rivalry.
Spartan.
With Spartan.
Yeah, that was funny.
Because I found it quite funny. And I guess I don't want to paint the author out to be a bad guy, but I guess there was rivalry, let's just say that. And there were some, would you call them shady tactics? They were just...
Describe a tactic and I'll give you my opinion.
Okay, so let's, for some context. So there's a rivalry between another race called the Spartan race. And basically, Will Dean flew a plane over the Spartan race while it was going on, saying, think this is tough? Try Tough Mudder. So it was like, so he's advertising his business while people are taking on the Spartan challenge. And I think that's great marketing. Firstly, that's a fantastic business move.
Okay. From
a marketing point of view. But also it's a bit shady.
Depends who.
But I rate it. But I also don't rate it.
Yeah, because if you was the owner of Spartan, and you'd be fuming.
Yeah,
if that happens, I mean, but at the same time,
but then he took it because the owner of Spartan flew banners over his Tough Mudder events.
Who was first? Do you know? Did he say?
I don't remember who was first, but he was like, he didn't mind because he knew that it was costing the guy from Spartan $15,000 or pounds every time a plane was getting flown across, and he knew that his business wasn't really like
couldn't afford it,
or like his business wasn't as big as Tough Mudder, so he's like, well, he's just wasting $15K because my Tough Mudder guys, they're loyal, You know what I mean? They're not gonna go and do Spartan, or maybe they might, but do you know what I mean? My event's better than yours, so you just wasted 15k, my guy. So I found that quite funny. Like, I'm just interested in business, and it's like, I guess, how important are rivalries? Are they?
It's good. It must be benefited both of them.
Yeah.
To be fair, because I know it was covered in the press and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They must be both benefited for it. It's good to have a rival. It's good, you know, it gives people something to talk about. And then as well, you build that loyalty, you build that tribe. It's like, right, well, we tough, like Coke and Pepsi, like you mentioned, these sort of things like, right, well, this is our thing, we do Tough Mudder.
Yeah, we're
better
Mudders.
because we do this. And, and, you know, he talks about one of the guys in the back end of the book that was a Spartan, and then he came to do Tough Mudder to prove how easy it was. And then after doing it, he became like, no, I'm Team Tough Mudder now. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So it's, you know, it's all good. It's rivalries. You know, it goes back to tribe again, tribalistic. As humans, it kind of feeds into something else. Yeah. So I think rivalries are good. You know, it's all fair, and I think now they've kind of settled their differences or whatever. I think they both benefited off it, man. Yeah. Personally.
No, that's fair. I think you're right. They both benefited off it. And actually, I want to go to like UK rappers, for example. Okay, you know, UK rappers when they like clash each other or you know they called each other out or whatever. Yeah. Actually, it ends up benefiting both of them because they both end up getting more views, more famous, more known. So even though in the moment it might seem like, oh, so and so lost or won, it's like actually more people are now aware of you than before. You must probably earned more through your YouTube or whatever, or Spotify.
Because again, it builds that. Yeah. People are waiting. Oh, he said this. What's he gonna say? Or the responses and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and again, it builds up a team, innit? Like. Again, tribe, it takes a tribe. So I don't know whether at the time when he was doing that, as in Will Dean, whether that was one of the intentions of it, but it's definitely an outcome that, you know, they became, you know, and that with the banners and orange and, you know, black and orange and all the stuff they do, you kind of identify. Yeah. So I bet you, for example, it's like in football, I guess that's the easy example. You know, if you're, let's talk about London rivals like Arsenal and Tottenham. If you're wearing an Arsenal top and you're walking down Oxford Circus or something and you see someone wearing a Tottenham top, you're gonna look at each other, innit? You're gonna have a little look at each other. It's just like, well, I'm Arsenal, you're Tottenham. Do you know what I mean? Like, nothing's gonna happen, but it's just that, well, you know, like, you identify with it, you know what I mean? So that's what you're trying to build up with this sort of stuff, man. And it's good, he's done a good job of that, I think. The stories that they tell about the people, and I think, you know, Tough Mudder's really made a big impact on the lives of people, like, you know, all across the world where they've grown and stuff like that. I think as well, part of the whole kind of festival sort of vibe, because this didn't really appeal to me, and I know it didn't appeal to you either. Like, we kind of done our run, we done it, and then after we hung about for a little bit, we was a big group, there was a big group of us. I think we're part of the picture of the big group as well, because there's loads of us. Then we kind of just went home. But no, we didn't. We did. It was cold as well. But like they talk about, you know, people the beers, and that's not really we're not really beers drinkers like that. But this is part of the Tough Mudder movement. Is the beer and the other stuff, the party stuff after. So that you do that. So you play hard, you work hard in the Tough Mudder run, and then you play hard afterwards. Yeah. Now we didn't do that part of it. But and I was trying to think. I was thinking, wow, why don't I want to do it again? And why? I mean, I liked it. I really enjoyed it. And I enjoyed watching other people's experience as well. Yeah. I think seeing the group, even like the lady was doing it with Gemma. Yeah. That was really good. So just for, again, one of the ramps, I think she failed like 6-7 times. She was running up. You got to have, so we're trying to hold her up, so we're all over. She's got to run and catch someone's hand. But then you need a bit of upper body strength to be able to pull yourself. She tried like 6-7 times. She did it eventually, and I was like, listen, man, big up, man. Yeah. That was like, that to me, I was
just going to say, like, that's big, innit? It's like the camaraderie. If she was on her own...
There was even other people there that wasn't part of our group that was boosting her, like, come on, like, it was sick.
Yeah. It was moments like those. And I know personally, because I know her, that moment, you know, has positively impacted her life. She was so proud of that moment, the fact that she failed, and then eventually did it. It was like such an achievement. It's like, and I think that's exactly what this author, the Tough Mudder Challenge does. It gives people achievements, like moments to be proud of.
Wins.
And Jem was one example, but there were many people just with us that event had probably, you know, life-changing impact on them in a positive way.
Like I said, with the young person I was talking about, who's going to join the Marines, I think that was the moment that made him realise he could do it. Because like, he changed after that.
Yeah.
Like he changed after that. And again, there's so many stories, so I get it. Like the magic of it, what it has, I fully see it. And I see, like, and that's just we had like, what, 15 people?
No, more than
20
that.
20 people?
Yeah, probably closer to 25.
25 people.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had 25 people. That's a small number in comparison to the amount of people that did the Tough Mudder. So think of that, and this is international. So I can see why people keep coming back.
Yeah.
What I like about it as well, what they do is that if you want to run it for free or you get half price something, you can volunteer the day before.
The year before or something?
No,
yeah.
the day, because there were some people on that day where they done the run the day before or the week before or whenever.
Yeah.
So they were like, oh yeah, they volunteer and they get a free ticket or something like that. Well, I think that's good because it's another way to kind of, it builds again that tribe sort of mentality, that group mentality, like, yeah, okay, we gave something to Tough Mudder, now we're getting something back or vice versa. So yeah, man, it's a great like business model, and it's a great, I like what it's doing. It's positive. It's better than like selling alcohol or something like that. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's other ways to make money, but you're choosing to do this as a way to make money. So I have to respect it.
Yeah, for sure, man. What did you think about him growing the business and his vision for the business? Because I found that really inspiring and also very sensible, the way he grew his business, because he created the tribe as in the participants who take part in the challenge, but he's also created a tribe in terms of his employees and the people that work as Tough Mudder, and just some of the things that he did. Everyone has to work at a Tough Mudder annually, so at least once, and everyone's encouraged to do a Tough Mudder at least once annually. And I think he's just trying to install a culture of that within his organisation. And one of the things that he did was they did a survey, a happiness survey, and they found that 90% of employees were happy and 10% were unhappy. And he had a meeting with some of the unhappy staff. And he basically said, you know, like, if you're unhappy here, it's unlikely that you're suddenly going to get happy. It's unlikely that things are going to change. Like, this is our culture. This is like basically our ethos. This is how we run. If you can't find happiness here, then bounce. Like, basically bounce. Like, find somewhere else. I don't think he put it like that, but essentially that's what he's saying. Like, you know, I'm doing my best here. If you're not happy, then sorry. I'm trying, but this isn't making you happy. And what he says is, no, so an employee came up to him and said, so if I'm unhappy, I've got to leave. And he said, well, no, I'm not saying that at all, but you should never forget that it's an option. Empowerment works both ways. We try to create an organisation where people can take responsibility and thrive, where they're encouraged to learn from mistakes and not be blamed for them, where they feel they have a real stake in any success. But we, like any organisation, do not have the power to make every individual who works here content and fulfilled. That part, finding out how to be happy, is not our responsibility. It has to come from you. And I thought that was so powerful, man, because you can't make anyone else happy. You can help support them. And this just goes, not just in terms of employees.
Happiness is internal, man.
It's internal, right? And I think, you know, it's the individual that has to find ways to make themselves happy, make themselves content and fulfilled. And he's doing his best by creating the ethos that he has to make them happy. But if that's not good enough, then please, find somewhere else.
What he also done in that moment is he just held the mirror up to that person. Because it's like, well, it's easy to say like, oh, my boss, my work, all that kind of stuff. It's easy to put in the blame. But what he's kind of just said is, well, look, we're doing the best we can, and this is who we are. So if you're not happy within this dichotomy, within this sort of environment, maybe it says more about you. Or you need to look into yourself, and then why are you staying? Why are you choosing to stay? So I mean, so I think it's good. I think it's a good tactic, like, because it's true. And again, a lot of people might have just ignored that 10% or whatnot, but yeah, it's a good. I mean, I can't argue with what he did. And again, it's reminding them, you're not here by force. You can leave. If it's what, and I've kind of had those conversations with some staff people. It's like, you know what? If this is actually, if this is so bad, is it worth it?
Yeah.
Like, don't worry, and this goes for any, and I've kind of, in my experience of working places, you know, you kind of think, oh, if I leave, everything's gonna fall apart. No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not, don't worry, and if it does, that's not your concern. Put yourself first, do you know what I mean? Get me? So, because sometimes that, oh man, I'm only here because of that, or I hate being here because I've got to do this. That it impacts everyone, man. It's infectious and it's a negative impact. So yeah, I think what he did was good. It kind of reminds the person that as an option, you can leave, and we can. And maybe if you want to, maybe you have to change your mentality to work. Maybe, you know, like we said, take it from being a have to a get to. You get to go to work. You know, you get to come here and get paid a salary. You get to even express how much you don't enjoy your job. These are kind of, you could look at different perspective. Yeah. This is possibly a privilege. You know, so it's all. That's kind of like a deeper thing, but I think that was good what he did there.
Yeah. And some employees, 90% of them, are happy to come to work and be part of the tribe and be part of make change in the thing. What I did like is talked about, you know, marketing and how they changed the obstacle courses. I think every year, or they try and make it different. Yeah, they change a certain amount of events just to make it not stagnant.
Excuse me.
Which I do like, even from like a consumer, someone who would go and take part. It's like, if I'm in the tribe, it's like, oh, I don't want to do that one again because I did it last year. It's like, oh, it's different now.
Keeps it fresh.
Oh, it's this time you've got snakes, or and he doesn't have animals, but you get what I mean.
Things they were talking about drinking pepper or something. Yeah. They trialed, so they trial a lot of different obstacles before you do it. Sorry. But yeah, my throat's packing up, man. Excuse me.
That's right. Yeah, they trial a lot of different events. And actually, what I found interesting was obviously with the legalities of things. Yeah. He said, you know, doing things in America was so much easier than doing things in UK and Europe because of the health and safety laws and regulations and everything. He said, yeah, doing it in America was just a lot easier, like trialing things there and
that expansion. I think we have to talk about like chapter 1 in the beginning, because like, so it was 2010 was the first murder, he says, in May in Pennsylvania. And he talks about that, like they didn't have insurance till like a couple of days before. Some of the things were kind of half built. I think they had to fire someone. The people that were building the obstacles, they were no good, so they had to get another group, and they tried to hold him to ransom. I think this guy here, he stands on business, you know.
Yeah.
I think it's because I remember now, the guy tried to be like, well, if you need me to do this, it's another £10,000.
Yes, yeah.
And he said, no, leave. But these times he's only got a few days left to think. So I respect that, man, to be fair.
Listen, he's a G. Yeah. Like, regardless of the lawsuit and whatnot and whatever you think about, he's been through some challenges, like any business owner, and he's bounced back from them.
He's an entrepreneur.
He's an entrepreneur. He's a G. Like,
so starting from that, they didn't have nowhere to store the obstacles.
Yes,
they had to speech. Like, these are things that.
So this this is what I wanted to touch on, because it's like, it's kind of immoral, but it's not. I'll give the context. He's hustling, he's hustling. He's hustling, and which is what you have to do as an entrepreneur. But basically, he needed to store equipment in a storage company, and the storage company was only for domestic use, so it was only for your household stuff, no commercial stuff. And the storage company, when he took it, they're like, well, this isn't domestic, this is commercial use. And he's like, no, this is domestic, this is just from my house. Or like, he came up with some excuse, some lie, and some excuse so that he could store his stuff there. And it was a lie, but he needed to do that in order to store the equipment there. Yeah. So I guess I want to ask a question. Is lying okay in these circumstances? And is that a big lie?
Look, man, lying's never okay.
Yeah.
Lying's never okay. But I think he did what he felt he needed to do at the time. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And I think he told like a colourful story. Yeah, he did what he felt to do. Yeah. You know, he had to, and as well, you've got to look at it as well. I mean, look at the impact of it. Yeah. He was just trying to store something for his business, small scale business. The storage companies got their policies. It's, that's all deeper. He did what he felt he had to do, man. He did what he had to do, so.
And I guess it's in his eyes, it doesn't matter whether it's domestic or commercial storage. Exactly. Like, I just need to store my stuff.
Yeah. I'm happy to pay.
I want
to pay for it all.
But again, I'm not stealing from you. I just need to store my stuff.
Yeah.
So But he had to tell a lie. Would you call that a white lie? Or yeah, but yeah,
a lie's a lie, man.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, I'm
anyway,
not gonna judge him, like whatever. But I think, look, he had to do what he had to do. And when you look at it, when you deep it, like you said, he's just a business owner trying to store his stuff that he's happy to pay for. Now, for some bureaucratic reason, well, we can't have domestic, we can have commercial, like, or we can't have commercial, we can only have domestic. It's like, listen, you know, that's when, look, man, with these sort of things, and we've been in these sort of situations when it's like, bro, I'm just a person trying to sort my business, bro. Just help me. I know what the book says. I know the computer says no, but just sort me out. Yeah. Help me out. And I'm happy. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you get to that point, and that's why I think we can relate to that. Do you know what I mean? As we've all been there. We've all been there, even in your life. Do you know what I mean? In life and business, whatever it is. So, like I said, you can relate to that.
And I can't think of a specific example right now, and I actually haven't thought of this prior to, but I mean, I'm sure that I've had to do similar things. Like you said, come on, bro, like just, we're human. Yeah. Like, I just need to store my stuff. Just let me.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Like,
ease me up.
Ease me up. It's not that deep. So, but I can't think of anything specific from my business or life, which it would have been nice if I could have. Maybe it will come to me before we finish the
but I think that's a good enough example.
Yeah.
What other parts that, you know, let me say something that I didn't like.
Okay.
Mr. Will Dean, where's he from? I don't know where he's from, yeah. I don't know why.
I think he's from UK.
He's from UK, but somewhere in UK. Yeah. I don't know why you felt it was the need to throw shade on Nigeria in your book, bro.
I missed that.
I don't know why you're even laughing to you, because this ain't funny. Do you miss that?
I'm quiet.
You're lucky. Anyway.
He's gonna wear a Nigeria top.
I was gonna come in today, but this Nigeria question, I'm gonna say it.
Okay.
But before I say it, corruption is worldwide. Yeah. So this, I'm actually serious. I'm not even joking. Corruption is worldwide. The country we're in right now, UK, is corrupt. America's, any country you want to look at. So in the book, he made an example, the Nigeria question. The question is this: what would happen to your company values of decency and transparency? Bearing in mind, he already said he lied previously, so we'll talk about this anyway. But what would happen to your company values of decency and transparency if you were in Lagos and you needed to get a bridge built quickly? The answer is always, well, things are different in Nigeria. I didn't appreciate that, Will Dean. I didn't appreciate that. You're also cancelled, Will Dean. You're not on my Christmas card list. But yeah, no, to be fair, now real talk, all jokes aside, I didn't actually like that. Yeah, okay. That got on my nerves. Obviously, I'm Nigerian. Yeah. So I'm like, because this is just another, like, oh, Nigeria's this, Nigeria's corrupt, all countries are corrupt. Yeah. All governments are corrupt. We know this. And I'm not, like, I'll just leave it there. So I didn't like that. So anyway.
So do better, yeah?
Do better, thank you.
Do better. Yeah, okay. Was there anything else you didn't like?
No, that was it. I'll tell you what I did like. I liked the stories that he told. And I liked all of the stories, because after every chapter, they tell a story about a tough mother. Like about a participant, yeah. So I thought, I'm not going to take notes for every single one. Yeah, okay. There were some that were really nice. This one I took notes for. It's not actually my favourite one. There's another one, the guy, I think he was in a wheelchair. Yeah. And I haven't gone, there's a video on YouTube apparently of him doing some obstacles, which I haven't seen, but it sounded amazing. I forget what chapter it is. If you want to find out, read the book. But he told a story about a lady called Gabby Martinez. So she was a lady, her husband left her, and she, at the time, she weighed 330 pounds. She lost 170 pounds for her first mother event, which was in 2013. Now, obviously we have a gym, and I've been in gyms all my whole life, so you rarely see people that are really overweight in the gym, which is a shame, because they need to be there, or they need to be there. And a part of that, which she said, she struggled to get into the gym because, again, there's the insecurities, and you feel as though people, when I go to the gym or any gyms, and if I see someone who's quite overweight, I definitely don't look at them, because I know they're really. In my head, I'm like, rah, big up yourself, because I know it's hard for you to come into the gym. Like just to walk in is already a challenge, is already quite a thing. So she kind of faced that fear, and she's run loads of Tough Mudder events. But originally, before going to the gym, she started her working out at home. So she's trying to start working out at home before she had the confidence to go into the gym. And I think there's a part in, I didn't take a note in it, but on the Tough Mudder event, she wore a t-shirt that's something like, did you take it down?
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, so she wore a top that says, "I used to weigh 330 pounds and I've just passed you."
Yeah, big up. So that Gabby, like that was one story.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't even my most favourite story, but it was still inspiring. And it just shows, again, this just builds. I think it's always good. I think it's always good when you shine a light on people that are kind of part of it. I remember the first book we read, the Gary V book.
Yeah.
I forget the name of it now, but he also wrote about people. Crushing it. Yeah, he also wrote about people, and I think it's good, man, because he didn't necessarily have to do that, but it's good to shine a light on that. And you know, for that, Gabby Martinez, big up yourself, man. And I think she consistently does Tough Mudders and stuff. And I think it's always harder for people when they're starting with more against them. You know, like we spoke about at the beginning when you're saying people that, is it good to have that challenge, that's something to go for? You know, she went from her husband leaving her. That's not nice. Do you know what I mean? She weighed 330 pounds. She's gone for all of that. And I'm sure this has had positive impacts in her life overall. Yeah. I think she's even married again now. I can't remember.
I didn't make that note, but yeah. Yeah, man. And there were lots of stories like this. And I didn't take full notes about the guy that broke his back. It was chapter 9. But yeah, he broke his back, but then he still came back. Like his ambition was to come back and do a Tough Mudder once he was able to do so. And yeah, there was another guy in a wheelchair that there was a wheelchair specific event that he could do. So yeah, it's just inspiring, man, hearing about all these different people that have overcome life setbacks and have decided to take on this challenge, and it helped them. And yeah, going back to my question, I think taking on challenges, whether it is a Tough Mudder, whether it is a half marathon, a 10K, a 5K, just
even the 5K, even a walk,
even the 7-day wellness challenge.
Yeah, big up. That's facts. Yeah. Because I know people that have done your wellness challenge, and I know the impact it's had on them. Yeah. It's just that, let me get there, because you feel, it's that dopamine, you feel good, man. You feel good, you can't fight it, man. Yeah.
In fact, for those of you that want to take on the 7-day wellness challenge, I'll put a link in the description box for you to try it. And actually, this is another nice moment to mention. We are the Power of Pages, and we've got a mailing list. If you want to join us and be a Power of Pager, is that what we're calling them? We just made that up. Cool. If you want to be a Power of Pager, join us on the mailing list. We've got some exciting plans for this year. So if you want to be updated when those plans happen, you need to be on the mailing list. So head to the first link in the description box and join it. And hopefully we'll see you in person at some point this year. And yeah, that's what I wanted to add on that.
I wanted to, from a business perspective, chapter 8 was that was maybe my favourite chapter. And he talks about the challenges of growth, the challenges of obviously, you know, working before, you know, I think they had a tragedy, someone died at one of their events in 2013, bless you. And he was kind of overworking, bless you, pushing himself too hard, XYZ. And I think, it's basically, when he was working too hard, he wasn't taking the time, and the company also lost its way a little bit because he kind of employed a lot of people that that didn't fit in with the ethos and the culture that he kind of was trying to put in. So that was a really good chapter, and even the Mudders started to realize that it was like kind of going against their grain, so they kind of had to change their company. And sometimes it's hard to do that because you think, well, we're making so much money, it's doing so well. All right, it's called Misandrift in charity, we call it Misandrift. It's like you kind of going away from your ethos, but he was able to, like, you know what, now we're going to get back on track. So that chapter was maybe my favourite chapter. Yeah,
I think it's tough lessons learning from failure. Yeah. So yeah, he talks a lot about, you know, failure and bounce backs and even just some of the little nuances and challenges in wording. Yeah. So he was like, they were blocked by his marketing team because he wanted to call participants that came back again repeat offenders. Yeah. And he's like, nah, they couldn't do that because they didn't want it to be linked to domestic violence. And it's like, these are all little things that they now have to think about. Now they're such a large organization. It's like, right, you have to tread toes. Like, of course, he doesn't mean it in any sinister way. He's just talking about the Tough Mudders. Yeah, you're taking on Tough Mudder. It's a crime to enjoy this so much. You're a repeat offender. But actually, people that take that out of context, it's now frowned
But
upon.
it's a fine line, because then when you over sanitize the product, it's no longer the product that you had originally. So people mostly bought into that because it was a bit risque and they kind of went against the grain and da. When it just becomes like a mayonnaise product, you lose that initial thing that brought people in. Where's your individuality? Now you just everyone's talking the same, saying the same thing. So, and this was the discourse that they'll kind of have in the boardrooms. But again, that was a perfect example that he gave, and it's like, it shows kind of, well, this is where our mindset is. Our people will understand what we're talking about. Our people will understand we're not talking about domestic violence. It's a bit of a little joke, it's a play on words, we're just being playful. Our people will get it. Our tribe will get it. The spirit of Tough Mudder, and everybody else won't get it. That's fine, it's not for them anyway. Do you know what I'm saying? But again, with these people, their job is to grow. All right, well, we need to appeal to the masses and the thing. So yeah, man, that was interesting. I like that chapter a lot.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about it more, but you know, we're running out of time. So let's go on to difficulty rating. Your book.
Yeah. Yes, it was my book.
Yeah.
Big up Nelio as well for recommending this book. Difficulty rating was, I'll give it a 2. A 2. It dragged a bit towards the end, I felt, a little bit, personally. But a 2. It wasn't hard to read. It was quite easy to read.
I gave it a 2 as well.
Okay.
You know, there were times where, you dragged a little, but yeah, 2. Star rating.
Star rating, I've got 2 numbers in my head, one because of the disrespect and one because of the thing.
All right, take any emotion out of your decision.
This is why it's good to have you around me, T. You're so rational, logical. All right, 3.
3?
Yeah, I'll give it a 3.
Okay.
It's a solid 3 for me.
Yeah.
I would recommend it. You know what, sorry, I know time's going out, but the difference between this book and the Netflix book, the Netflix book was more interesting to read, even though it's just about Netflix and this is just about It Takes a Tribe. I think because the guys in movies and stuff, it felt like a movie. It didn't feel boring at any time, really. This kind of felt a bit too PR-y sometimes, but so 3.
Yeah, okay. I was flirting between 2 numbers, 2 half numbers. I don't know if your 2 numbers were either a half or a whole. I know you said you want to be whole this year. I'm still going to be halves.
Okay.
So I pushed it up to a 3.5.
Okay.
I was flirting between a 3 and a 3.5, but I enjoyed it. It was a good book. It's definitely worth a read. I think one of the things, it's not a life-changing book. I wouldn't say it's a life-changing book. I would say taking part in Tough Mudder is life-changing for some people.
Can be life-changing.
Can be life-changing.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think people will read this book and it would be life-changing. Maybe some people, but yeah, 3.5. It was a good enough read.
Have you got time for Power in the Pages? Or
go?
So, the Power of the Pages for me is Toyota's, and this is more for people that run businesses, Toyota's 5 why principle. If something went wrong, ask why 5 times to get to the real reason for it. So if there's an issue in your business and there's a mistake, something goes wrong, why? So he gives an example of a rope broke at Tough Mudder obstacle course. A series of questions like below would be asked. Why did the rope break? It was the wrong rope. 2, why was it the wrong rope? Because we bought a cheap rope. 3, why did we buy a cheap rope? Because the budget was too low. 4, why was the budget too low? Because we don't know how to budget properly. 5, why don't we know how to budget properly? Because we don't have the capability in obstacle design. So it kind of gets to the root of the problem. So anyway, the 5 why principle from
I think
Toyota.
we've touched on that in another book.
It's got a name that I forget.
Like
it's given a name, but I forget the name.
Maybe even Stephen Bartlett might have mentioned that.
I think it is, yeah.
And I guess my power of these pages is taking part in challenges. The power of taking part in challenges and what it can do for people, individuals, groups, communities. I think if you can challenge yourself in any way, take on the 1 book a month challenge with us, read 1 book a month, which brings me on to the next book that we're reading, which is What's Your Dream by Simon Squibb. He's blown up on social media. Some of you may have seen him, but we're going to be discussing this in our next review. So go and purchase this, join us on our 1 book a month journey, and we will see you here for the next episode. This is The Power of Pages.
And we review books.
Jeez, got it flowing, yeah?
I know. But I had to come for that guy, man. Why be saying them things, bruv? In a big bestseller and all that, whatever.